welcome back. Recruiting Assist of the Day. We're on episode number 5. Let me know. Give me feedback, guys. If there's something here that you want to hear more of, feel free to comment below. Feel free to email me. My email's in the description. Really want to make sure that this is interactive. I really want to make sure that I'm helping you, not just spewing off random thoughts and things that are running through my mind. I want to utilize this as a platform and an opportunity to answer the questions and provide the help and assistance that you need. I think that that's really the only reason why I'm doing this. There's a million and one other things I could be doing other than recording myself talking to myself. But, I think that, at the end of the day, if I can help one student athlete through this, then to me it's a win. And that's really the way that I've handled this side of my career for the last couple of years. When I go to speaking engagements, I'm frequently, I've remembered, maybe 3 or 4 instances where, I've gone in and a coach has said to me, hey, you know what, we're missing, half of our team, or, I wasn't able to get, the guys that I really wanted to get something out of this. They weren't able to show up today. So I'm sorry, we don't have the numbers, whatever. And I always stop them and say, look, if I'm able to help one person, if I'm able to influence one person to walk out of here and change, the way that they're handling this recruiting process, or improve their academic situation, or just bring clarity to them and to their families within it, then it's a win for me. And that's the way that I've approached it. So if there's one person out there that this is reaching and helping, then to me it's a major success, and it's something that I'll continue doing. But I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. I'd love to interact with you guys. My social media links are in the description as well, so feel free to reach out. Let's make this interactive. Let's talk. Let's build together. Today I want to talk about building a recruiting team. I think that that's something that is often not discussed and overlooked. There's not a real synergy of people that are working on a student athlete's behalf, navigating through that recruiting process. Sometimes there are multiple people that are there helping that student athlete, which are a great thing. And then sometimes there's nobody that's there that's helping that student athlete. Ideally, we want to have the multiple people working for us. That's what we want. But at the end of the day, we want those multiple people working for us and working together and understanding what each person's roles and responsibilities are. And I think that eliminates the ability for misunderstandings or frustrations or letdowns, because we do at this point now, we have a level of expectation of what each person's going to do within their role on that team, versus assuming, hey, my coach is going to get me recruited, which absolutely your coach can help you get recruited. But if we're talking high school basketball, that's not your coach's job. And the majority of high school settings, that coach he's a teacher or he has some other full-time job that is taking up 40 hours of his week, 40 hours plus. And then coaching, that's an additional, however many hours a week. We're talking 55, 60 hours. If that coach has a family, if that coach has children of their own, they don't have the time to individually help every single player on their team get recruited. There are some that go well above and beyond and work hard and bust their butts to make sure that their guys go to college and their girls go to college. And for that, I appreciate you. If nobody else says that to you, I want you to hear it from me. But the reality is that that's not the expectation. That's more of the exception. That's more of that coach going above and beyond. The reality is it's on us. It's on us as parents. It's on us as student athletes. We've got to step up and take ownership of our recruiting process. And those other resources are there to help us. They're there to be an addition to the work that we're doing on our end. So the first thing I want you guys to do, if you haven't already done so, when you finish watching this video, I want you to build a recruiting team. So, grab a pen and a piece of paper. I'll give you a couple seconds, if you have one handy right by you, or you can hit pause and go grab a pen and a piece of paper. I want you to jot this down because I think it's vitally important. You need a team to win. Just like in most sports, you got to have a team. You're not winning a championship by yourself. It's the same thing in the recruiting process. And that team is going to consist of a couple different people. One, obviously yourself. You're the captain of that team. Without you, the rest of it, it doesn't matter. You're the sole existence of this team even being here, right? 2, your parents. Got to be on the same page. I know it's tough as a teenager sometimes to communicate and talk to your parents, but they really know you better than you know yourself. They know you better than anybody else could ever, attempt to know you within this recruiting process. So they're going to be able to help you identify with what's the right fit for you. They're going to be able to help you identify with some of the things that you want to not only achieve, but some of the things you want to avoid. If you've had a parent that's gone through the recruiting process before, a lot of times they're going to be able to help you avoid some of the mistakes that they made, some of the things that they bumped their head on, right? But most importantly, the reason why it's important for your family and your parents to be invested in this process is they're the only ones that got to deal with you, when this thing ends. If it doesn't work out, they're the ones that are going to be there helping you pick up the pieces and helping you move forward. And, everybody else can walk away. Mom and dad can't walk away. They're there for you, from their literally your day ones. They're going to be with you through every step of the process. So it's important that they're on your team and that they understand what it is you want to accomplish, and that you guys are having open dialogue. Next person that's got to be involved in that team is your high school coach. Your high school coach should understand what your expectations are, what your goals are, and also they should understand what your expectations of them are, right? Don't just expect, hey, coach is supposed to get me recruited. Ask your coach, what kind of help can you provide in the recruiting process? And when you go into it that way and you're explaining to your coach, hey, I understand that I've got some heavy lifting to do and that my parents have some heavy lifting to do, and we're bought in. We're going to do whatever we need to do, but we wanted to have a conversation with you to discuss, number one, what we're looking for out of this, but number two, to get a full grasp on the help and the direction that we can expect to receive from you so that everybody goes into this, managing their expectations. So it's vitally important. Your coach is going to be able to tell you, this is what I see from you. This is the level I believe that you can play at, and be willing to listen to that. Be willing to hear that. If coach tells you, right now you're not quite a Division I player, but your goal and your dream is to play Division I, that doesn't mean you look at coach and you say, oh man, I forget coach. He don't know what he's talking about. No, you look at coach and you say, okay, well, coach, you don't think I'm a Division I player right now. What is it going to take for me to be that? And if the answer is, hey, you've got to get a little bit quicker. You've got to improve, your jump shot, or you've got to improve your speed on your pitch, or whatever the case may be. Now you have a reference point of what to work towards, right? And now it's back on you to put in the work to become the level that you want to be. But those are some conversations that need to take place. So we've got student athlete, parent, coach. If you're playing a club, travel AAU, that coach, you should have them involved as well. I think it's important that there's open lines of communication between that coach and your high school coach, because it's going to allow you to not have the friction of, okay, he's at this workout, but not at this workout. Or, your AAU coach has you working on this, but that's contradictory to what we want you working on here within our system. I think there needs to be a line of communication there when possible. Obviously, that's a blue sky world scenario. It doesn't always happen, but if we can make that happen, that's great. You're going to be able to have that conversation with your AAU coach. Hey, coach, what can I expect from you in the recruiting process? What kind of exposure and things are going to happen within that setting? What do I need to do to be prepared for my AAU season or my club season if I'm playing, softball, baseball, etc.? Most important person on that recruitment team is your guidance counselor, right? So my hope is that, I'm reaching a lot of student athletes that are young, that are either in 8th grade and they're getting ready to prepare for high school, or you're a freshman or sophomore and, you've got time to make sure that we're on the right track and right path. Inevitably, there's going to be some juniors and seniors watching this that we're going to have some catch up to play, and that's okay. We'll work through that. But what we need to do is we need to be meeting with our guidance counselor to understand the NCAA requirements. We need to make sure that our core courses are NCAA approved. Each school has something called the 48H. We need to understand what courses our school offers that are NCAA approved, so that we're in alignment, that when it comes time for graduation, we're not stressing on whether or not we're going to have the core course requirements. We're starting that on day one, right? We know that the goal is to play our sport in college. We're reverse engineering that and making sure that every step throughout the way is leading up to that goal. So that starts with, meeting with your guidance counselor, talking through the NCAA Eligibility Center with them, talking through, when do I need to start preparing for my ACT and SAT? All of those things are vital pieces of the puzzle. So, that's our recruiting team right there. And if you need outside help beyond that, then so be it. It's great, but start there. Start with you, your parents, your coaches, your guidance counselor, and let's put together a game plan that's going to help you get to where your goal is. And then from there, it's time to execute. All right, hey, once again, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. Once again, my email is in the description below. My social media is in the description below. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to make sure to respond to every single email, respond to every single comment. Anything that I can do to help you get one step closer to your goal. Like I said, leave no student athlete behind. Leave no student athlete where I found him. Let's get it.